Still incredibly peaceful. So this is Riley leaving. This is the supposed violence she faced as she was leaving the room. Also, I find it hard to believe that she was assaulted by somebody when she literally has a cop with their arm around her. Female swimmer from the NCAA by the name of Riley Gaines was apparently going to be giving a speech with the far-right group TPUSA in San Francisco. Justice Thomas said what that Fuhrer be doing. Riley Gaines, who competed against, that's her claim to fame here. She was not good. She was not a good swimmer. Her swimming career has come to a close. And Riley Gaines' claim to fame now, and she's getting a lot of attention for it from right-wingers, is that she competed against Leah Thomas, a trans athlete, in a swimming competition. The Gaines said that she was attacked by trans activists while she was on a college campus for TPUSA. The college says the protests were peaceful. I've not seen any kind of arrest report. I'm not seeing any kind of security backing her up. Now, we do have videos. We have videos of the incident. There were reporters there. So we're going to watch them. But let's see the local news hit first.
San Francisco State University just became a flashpoint in a heated debate. A debate about transgender athletes competing in women's sports. Controversial speaker claims she was assaulted after speaking on campus last night. NBC Bay Area's Ian Cole has the video going viral in political circles, as well as response from that speaker and other students.
Just saying.
Riley Gaines is a college swimmer and a prominent conservative figure who has been speaking out against transgender women competing in women's sports.
All I hear is selfishness.
Gaines became a national face of the push to ban.
All she hears is selfishness. Bam.
And transgender athletes after losing an NCAA championship race to Leah Thomas, a transgender swimmer.
Lawmakers saying why I should not have a voice.
The San Francisco State student newspaper Golden Gate Express posted this video of Gaines speaking about the issue on campus last night. The speech was hosted by Turning Point USA, a nonprofit that advocates for conservative causes. As Gaines spoke, demonstrators inside and outside of the room held signs and chanted trans rights are human rights. Gaines claims she was ambushed and physically hit by protesters as she attempted to leave. Both Gaines and the Express posted videos showing her being escorted by police to another room. The videos show loud crowds but don't specifically show her being struck by anyone. Her representatives say she was trapped for 3 hours before she could be escorted off campus safely. Her agent saying in a statement, instead of a thoughtful discussion at SFSU, Riley was...
She wasn't there to have a thoughtful discussion. She was there to be a bigot.
Violently accosted, shouted at, physically assaulted, and barricaded in a room by protesters. It is stunning that in America in 2023, it is acceptable for biological male students to violently assault a woman for standing up for women's rights. The incident immediately caught national attention, with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy tweeting, "This is an appalling attack on free speech on a college campus." Meanwhile, trans rights activist Honey Mahogany says tensions over transgender rights are reaching a boiling point.
And I think today is just another example of the onslaught on trans people's rights. We've seen a very coordinated attack from the right across the country. There are so many state legislatures that are either considering or passing anti-trans laws.
The University Police Department wrote, "We are conducting an ongoing investigation into the situation. There were no arrests related to the event." The disruption occurred after the conclusion of the event, which made it necessary for UPD officers to move the event speaker from the room to a different safe location.
Jacob Wall, there's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Say they don't support the idea of assaulting a speaker if that happened, but nearly all say they support transgender athletes.
I feel like sports should be open to anyone no matter what gender they're born into.
Having that swimmer speak out against it.
I probably did, Lord Locke, but
Seems like
fuck off.
controversial, and it's very, I feel like it's rooted in hate, possibly.
The Queer and Trans Resource Center that's run by students here made it a point to say that none of its staff was involved in the protest. In fact, they say that that protest was organized by someone who isn't even a student. Meanwhile, Gaines' agent says he wants any of the students that became violent last night to be expelled and prosecuted. At San Francisco State.
We have no evidence that anybody was violent whatsoever. None. 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 Zero evidence. And if you dispute me, let's go ahead. We're going to go to the Golden Gate Express. You saw that the local news actually cited them. It was their video. Was not in the video. You saw nothing. Group of about 100 students are about to enter the HSS building protesting against TPUSA's event. These are protesters peacefully checking into the event. See more pictures. Turning Point USA is looking to open another room for remaining participants. This is at 6:58. Signs are not allowed within the room, so protesters are using provided TPUSA flyers to create makeshift signs. Good on them. Riley Gaines has started her speech to a room full of about 75 students at the HSS building at 7:05.
Women, trans women are women. Trans women are
Trans women are women. Sorry if that hurts your feelings, snowflakes. Riley Gaines recounts her story of competing against Leah Thomas in the 2022 NCAA championship to a mixed audience. Again, no violence.
There's one more piece I want to touch on. I know I mentioned I got nominated for NCAA Woman of the Year. And so they had a big convention where you go, they honor you, they name their Woman of the Year. And so I went to this convention. It was in January. It was in San Antonio. And so I go to the convention, obviously not in support because the award was immediately meaningless. But there's one more.
Because the award was immediately meaningless. Wow.
Trans are human rights. Trans rights 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 are human rights.
Still very peaceful.
But if you guys really believed in having a voice, then you'd let me speak.
What?
And I know that you guys are laughing, but if you guys really believed in having a voice, then you'd let me speak.
Continue, please.
You were talking to all of us. You can finish your question.
Well, let's leave the question at the end. Yeah, let's leave the question at the end.
Just say.
Wait, so he's in charge of this, you or you?
Well, I don't. He is.
He is? Okay.
Questions on the end?
So Q&A started about 7:50. It looks like 30 minutes of chants. Trans women are women and trans rights are under attack, which is true.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Trans rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Trans rights.
Students share their comments.
Who has hyperextension and the deficiency of lactic acid, which makes someone's muscles ache less.
Yes. This is an argument that's typically brought up. Michael Phelps, he has Marfan syndrome, which typically makes your limbs longer. Yes, he has more elasticity in his joints and such. But that, I know I just mentioned the performance gap between the same level man and woman, 10 to 12%. The performance gap that Michael Phelps, even with his advantages, has over his competitors is in the decimals. So it's not the same severity.
Opinion on Michael Phelps, who has
There is no performance gap, and I can show you Leah Thomas's numbers that she lost speed after transitioning.
Trans rights are human rights.
their attendees are being let out and students are picking up their posters from the hallway. Still incredibly peaceful. So this is Riley leaving. This is the supposed violence she faced as she was leaving the room. Also, I find it hard to believe that she was assaulted by somebody when she literally has a cop with their arm around her. So now apparently she stayed in this room. Yes, this is where she's claiming false imprisonment. So the protesters are yelling at the guards in this one. I mean, there is a whole police presence in front of that fucking door now. There are at least 5 cops. So once again, how in the world could she have been assaulted? So members of TPUSA were still in the room waiting to be escorted out of the building. This is where they were escorted out.
Run, bitch, run! Don't ever come back! Don't ever come back! Don't ever come back! Baby!
Here's the thing, is that TPUSA employs a tactic, a known Nazi tactic. It was popularized by George Lincoln Rockwell, the father of the American Nazi movement. He would go to college campuses, say his Nazi shit, and then would get protested exactly like that. And then he would go out and claim, oh, my free speech is being violated. They don't like free speech. Oh, and he would get way more publicity for it. This is exactly what TPUSA wanted to happen. Now, while it makes me happy to see that there is that many people that will stand up for trans rights, unfortunately, this is what TPUSA wanted. And it doesn't matter that it was peaceful and there was no violence. TPUSA, Riley Gaines, they're going to keep saying it was violent. So the Dean of Students addresses the crowd's concerns.
And what we're hoping to do is to keep things peaceful and
make her lose her flight
and move forward. Okay?
Yeah, no,
Tell her to pay us. Tell her to pay us, and then she could go. $10 each.
So this is what she has talked about being held for ransom. Just a stupid fucking joke by a dumb punk kid talking to the Dean of Students.
And what we're hoping to do is to keep things peaceful and
make her lose her flight
and move forward. Okay?
Yeah, no,
Tell her to pay us. Tell her to pay us, and then she could go. $10 each. Because she might get paid for this shit, so we could get paid for it too.
On a public campus that we attend.
So what's the end goal here? We're cooperating, so what's next?
So they need to do their job and get her out there. We created a path. It's here.
I can't speak to all of you when we're over talking to each other. We're not going to hear each other.
Don't let her hold.
Then no, you don't have to use. There's a difference.
So what we want to do is maintain what we're doing right now, and as the speaker sits, we can continue our conversations. And what we're hoping to do.
That was the Dean of Students.
Make
The protesters dispersed at about 10:40. She said she was held for 3 hours. What was it, about 9 something that she finished speaking? So maybe about an hour and a half, hour 45. Police have moved into another hallway. 11:13. 11:21. And then the San Francisco Police Department announced that those who stay to protest or now unlawfully congregating will be arrested.
Uh-oh, we're gonna send her back out. Oh no, they got the megaphone, y'all. Hold on. Oh no.
Where we used to be. California. And I represent California State University.
And you abuse people?
I commend you in the name of the people of the state of California to disperse. And disperse down to your side.
We already followed your rules.
Hey! He just said that he can fuck. Which may involve significant pain or result in serious injury. What?
So, okay, she actually left campus at about 11:30. This is her being escorted out with an army of cops. Still no assault taking place. Now, as for whether, like, when I was saying about this is what TPUSA wanted, I was not making a judgment of whether the protesters were making the right move or the wrong move. I don't know what the right move is. Make your voice heard if you feel that's what you should do. Absolutely. I was stating that that's what TPUSA wanted. They wanted a scene like this so that they could claim persecution. And so that she could go on Tucker Carlson on Friday night and cry crocodile tears, because that's exactly what she did.
Gaines will say that because she's not afraid. So last night, Gaines went to San Francisco State University to talk about her experiences in NCAA swimming. And Riley Gaines is not a hater. She is a measured, decent person who believes in logic.
It's coming from Tucker Carlson.
Common ground with people who disagree with her. She does not think she is God. But that fact does not believe she's God makes her a terrifying threat to the zealots who do believe. During the chaos, a man dressed as a woman punched her several times. The mob howled with rage, screaming threats and obscenities. We're not overstating. Here's what it looked like.
I think you are. I mean, she is a transphobic bitch.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, here's what it looked like. No assault. She's surrounded by cops.
I'm coming. I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. Go ahead.
And all the motherfuckers that want to be like, oh, the free speech is being stifled. No, you're trying to stifle the speech of the people protesting.
That's the most dangerous extremist group in the United States. There's no mistaking it.
Oh,
Riley
bullshit.
Again, is not an ideologue or a demagogue. She's not out to hurt anybody. She's a college swimmer who was cheated against and doesn't think that's fair. In the face of that, people threaten her life and scream transparently nonsensical things like trans women are women. Trans women are not women. Women are women and men are men.
Women are men, Tucker says.
Unalterable. And if you think otherwise, you are delusional. And they are delusional and therefore dangerous. Last night, Riley Gaines was silenced and assaulted at San Francisco State. Her most basic civil rights were stolen by a violent mob. The thing we're supposed to be on the lookout for.
Her most basic civil rights were stolen.
There is such a thing as a hate crime. You just saw it. And yet the administration and its thoroughly corrupt Department of Justice.
I think I'm on Fox News' website.
Because they endorse
Oh, I'm on YouTube.
Riley Gaines is one of the bravest people we know, and we're grateful to have her join us tonight. Riley Gaines, thank you so much for coming on. Was that horrifying as it looked?
I mean, it was terrifying for me.
The police did not inform me of any sort of...
I don't know what the issue is with the video. Ma'am, you didn't have to go there. You are from Kentucky, apparently. What were you doing in San Francisco on a college campus that clearly didn't want you there? Speaking to, what, a handful of people were in support of you? Why do that? Because TPUSA paid you to?
Action plan. Turning Point USA invited me to the campus. I delivered a very civil and respectful speech where I had great dialogue with even protesters who were participating in a sit-in. All of a sudden, after my speech, the room was stormed. The lights were turned off and I was rushed with no one there to escort me to a safe place. I was punched. I was hit multiple times.
She is lying. You saw the cop with their arm around her the entire time with no one to escort her. What is she talking about? What are you smoking, ma'am?
I was shoved until finally we exited the room, but we could not leave because the protesters flooded the halls, and so I was pushed into a classroom along that hallway where I was barricaded in for 3 hours.
3 hours? Why didn't someone with a gun come and bring you to safety?
Because they were terrified. They were scared to put their hands on these people because they know what these people are capable of. These people yelled obscene, violent, vulgar things to both myself and the officers, and the officers
Good.
Didn't feel comfortable putting them
fuck those
in a
pigs.
position that would mean they do their job, which is a really scary, chilling thought.
Riley, let me tell you, the cops don't do their job.
This is the most dangerous extremist movement in the United States right now. It's getting bigger, not smaller. It's gaining steam, not losing it. The White House has endorsed it. I mean, what does this mean for you? And I just can't say it again since I happen to know you. You are an inherently moderate person who means harm to no one. But are you worried about your safety going
Exactly, Thread. Also, good evening.
You know, I am worried about my safety. I have to be now. When we have people who are willing to do this, and we know why they're willing to do this, it's because they don't have reason, they don't have logic, they don't have science, they don't
I
have
hate
goo. That's on my
As someone who had to take several classes, 4,000 level classes in logic, I cannot stand it when right-wingers evoke logic. Now, they're meaning it in like the colloquial sense. Oh, you're logic. But logic is a specific set of rules. Violation of those rules are called logical fallacies. And it's weird to hear somebody evoke logic while committing a fucking logical fallacy. It's a pet peeve of mine.
My side, and so they protrude by violence, whether it's physical or verbal violence. But what this means for me, this does not deter me. This assures me that I am doing the right thing. This will not silence me when they want me to be silenced. It just means I need to speak louder.
You're on Tucker fucking Carlson.
Did anyone in the state of California in authority, any political figure for
like this idea that people are trying to silence her when I don't even know why anyone's giving her a platform. Why are you on the #1 cable news in the country? What exactly do you have to say or to contribute? Why was TPUSA taking you to San Francisco to speak to those students? Why is what you have to say so fucking special? Why do you think you get to be platformed over everybody else?
example, defend you?
No, not the Dean of Students, not the campus police. I will say the City of San Francisco police that stepped in, they did a phenomenal job in escorting 3 hours later. But I will be pursuing legal action. I will ensure that the people who...
Of course you will.
Me, the people who put me in that position, they will face repercussions.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't identify that as evil, then we've really lost the thread. Riley Gaines, I'm glad you're still here.
What is evil? What is evil? You saw people exercising their right to protest. There was no evil. Ah, yes, Caitlin Bennett. Whatever happened to her? She got pregnant and I haven't heard from her since. Knowing the rates of women who die in childbirth in this country, perhaps that happened to her. But I don't think we could get that lucky. So yeah, I was trying to get through that. I wanted to do it all in one piece. I didn't want to interrupt it for a commercial break or anything. I'm sorry, OAS. Totally post links in the Discord. I wanted to clip that for YouTube because, you know, the topic of conversation, old Riley Gaines will get you some clicks. Oh, yuck, yuck.